Hi everybody, I wanted to bring you this one. It's actually pretty big. World's top human rights judge says Cheney should and will be tried for war crimes. Occupy Democrats, world's top humanitarian rights judge Cheney should and will be tried for war crimes. Former International Court Justice has breathed new life in the arguments. Dick Cheney should be tried for war crimes. In an interview with Newsweek, Thomas Bergenthal said that there's not only is George W. Bush an ignoramus, but that there is distinct possibility that even Cheney will be charged for his crimes during the Iraq War. So both George W. Jr. and Cheney will be charged with war crimes, supposedly. Bergenthal says Bush's decision to enter Iraq was not, as has been shown time and time again, an effort to fight terrorism, but rather an attempt to show off for his mother. He's a mommy's boy. Anyways, former judge describes former president as an ignorant person who wanted to show off his... I don't agree, but his mother and father. The reason we went to war in Iraq, ladies and gentlemen, is because if you follow history and follow what was going on at the time, there was a pact in the Middle East, folks, between Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and Gaddafi's Libya, I believe. They were going to institute a world currency that was gold and silver based. And that is why we went into the term that they used was there were weapons of mass destruction. Remember that? We will get them terrorists. And I promise you, we will find those weapons of mass destruction. Well, the weapons of mass destruction were the political ties between these groups. Saddam Hussein, Gaddafi, and I think it was Russia at the time were putting together something that was going to be more volatile against the petrodollar and would basically devalue the United States dollar, if not make it completely obsolete. So that is why we went into Iraq and we did the strikes on Libya and did all that stuff with Libya and killed Gaddafi and everything, because it wasn't that we hated those countries, that those countries were involved in 9/11. They were not. What it was that they basically threatened the dollar and the petrodollar, and we had to go take care of them sons of bitches. Yee-haw! I know that's a very ignorant thing to say, but that is basically what they would say if they were here. So let's get into this a bit. Well, he declined to offer an opinion whether or not Prime Minister of the United Kingdom should be charged as well as for a war crime. Bergenthal was not quite so kind to Cheney. He had the United States made a great mistake in not charging the criminal Bush administration, but that there is still hope that it will have. So here it is, folks. He's not just talking about putting George W. on trial. He's not talking about putting Cheney on trial. He's talking about putting the entire alliance, basically, for the Iraq War on trial. And if that happens, ladies and gentlemen, it's good that Petraeus went to, had that scandal, that he would actually be removed from this. Because that means every general that participated in this, folks, would not be brought into this trial to talk against their superiors and no doubt be brought in for war crimes. Oh, it doesn't matter whether or not the generals are guilty. There'd be one or two things somewhere that someone would do and say they are accomplices of, or, something of that sort. But let me just get into this and what it's actually about. Basically, Bergenthal's expertise on the matter of war crimes is fairly solid, as he is a Holocaust survivor. Before removed to the United States from Czechoslovakia, served as a judge in the International Court of Justice for 10 years, ultimately became a United States citizen, landed a job professor of law at George Washington University. He was in prison in Auschwitz, ladies and gentlemen, while Bergenthal and his mother were fortunate enough to live through their ordeal at the Nazi concentration camp, his father was not so lucky. Perhaps seeing Cheney brought to justice is a pipe dream, perhaps not, but the pair have been convicted at least in one court in absentia in Malaysia. So, in other words, this is just one time that they've already been convicted of international war crimes, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to go into this much more. You got the URL on top. You can always look at this for Occupy Democrats. This is an actual story. This is not made up. This is not a conspiracy theory. These are real people who are going after these guys for war crimes, ladies and gentlemen. So basically, we're talking about getting GW. We're talking about going after, I was going to say Hillary. That's awesome. So GW, Cheney. And we're talking about maybe bringing in the UAE as well. Holy crap, the war on terror is basically a lie at this point. If our guys are brought in like that, and well, we know it actually is, but it is what it is.